Hey everybody, it's Bus with Battles with Bus number 631. Today we'll be doing battle with the Ranger and Backpack Battles. And so this is going to be our last Ranger video, our last Backpack Battles video. This is going to be the finale of gameplay before we move over to the Bazaar. And so the Bazaar beta is supposed to start on October the 30th, and so we'll look to get the content for that started up around there. But before we leave Backpack Battles, in addition to this last gameplay video, I do want to put together a kind of general strategy guide, the way that I really like to think about the progression through the rounds within the game. I do go through every game with the Ranger here looking to make hero swords into hero longswords, but there's a lot of pathing along the way that can happen based on what the game offers up to you. And so I'm wanting to kind of put together a overview of my thought process, just kind of in general, of how we get from the start to the end in each of these games, as I think that'll apply to all the classes beyond the Ranger. And it's very critical to think in terms of auto battle style games like this with the pathing plan and how you intend to get from point A to point B across all of the shops in the gameplay. Also think that'll be quite useful as we switch over to the Bazaar, to where a lot of the mechanics will be very similar. Last but not least, I want to do another review of Backpack Battles. We did a review after like 100 hours or so, and now that we've really dove into this over the course of the past, I don't know, 4 or 5 months, getting, I don't know, 1,000 hours of gameplay or so, I feel like I'm in a much better place to really give a good analysis on Backpack Battles, the pros and cons, the likes and the dislikes, and I'll look to get that out before we switch to the Bazaar as well. And so, with that out of the way, let's do it one last time. Hit that new ranked game button, see what turns up, see if we can't get off to a great start here. And so, reasonable enough shop. It has a lot of the early game defensive stuff that I want. I want to pick up one of these bucklers every game. Banana is fine. On sale healing herbs is quite good. And this leaves us in a spot to where I'm not excited about picking up these pans here early, but we really kind of need it to win. We're not going to win this first round if we just stick with the wooden sword. And at the end of the day, would I give up 2 gold to maintain one of our hearts, maintain one of our health? Then sure, I would. And so I think that makes it okay to take the pan. Who knows? Maybe we'll find that we'll find that pandemonium here on round 2 and just pop off right at the beginning. But it's a reasonable enough start for a pan, right? We had the banana to go along with it to give it a little bit of that bonus damage. It's actually a very high damage item here in the early game, and so it doesn't feel too bad being stuck with it here for a round, or maybe another round as we push on. And so every single game here, we're going to take these stones. I want to get the bag of stones up and running, and so taking the stone definitely helps with that. Also helps in the early game is, hitting your opponent for 4 damage in these early stages of the game when you only have 35 health. That's over 10% of the opponent's health, and so it's not a bad investment for the 1 gold. We'll pick up the singular walrus tusk here to upgrade the wooden buckler this turn, but we're going to take a roll and see what comes up with this next set. I'm going to say ideally it'll be some on sale kind of stuff. Nothing in terms of bags, but there is a broom here. We can look to make a shovel here to start. So kind of interested in that. We have the lucky clover to make the clover bow, which I'm definitely interested in. And we have our first whetstone out here. And so a lot of stuff that I'm very interested in pivoting into. I want this entire shop minus the wooden buckler. It's just the downside with this shop is if we want to go into the next round and buy 10 gold worth of stuff, we're not going to have the bags to make any of it work. And so what I'm kind of thinking we want to do here is just to go ahead and sell the pan, pick up this bow. That gets us up and running in terms of clearing out some of these items that we want, and freeing us up to potentially hit on a bag next turn in addition to this whetstone clover. And so we'll see if that pays off here. I want to get this upgrade on the walrus tusk as well. That'll help us pick up some bag space as well. And so what I typically do here in the early game is look to upgrade the short bow to the tusk poker. It is kind of hard to find these lucky clovers to get the upgrade into the clover bow. And so I do like the the scaling aspect of these tusk pokers in the early game. But if we're going to be getting Clover Bow here in the next round and we have the upgrade potential in the Wooden Buckler, I think it's fine. It's just the Wooden Buckler, we really care about the damage prevention and not so much the thorns. And getting the upgrade here just adds the thorns on. It doesn't do any additional damage prevention, I think. Right? Right? It still prevents 7 and 0.3 stamina at 30%. Yeah, I thought I was right on that. When was realistically the last time I've ever been wrong? Never been wrong. And so just put that in your pipe and smoke it. Put that in the old memory banks. What do we got here? Are we going to survive throughout the early rounds of this? The opponent doesn't have a ton of damage coming through, but as those empowereds build up from the Holy Relic, he's probably going to bring us down. I can't remember the last time I beat an early Relic in the early game out here. But reasonable enough stuff. We did come across a bag, but we can't afford everything here, right? If we pick up the whetstone and the... Oh, shit, yeah, we can. Take that back. When was the last time you were wrong? About 4 seconds ago. And so... that's just the way it goes, huh? But let's get these upgrades in here. Let's get this stuff up and running. We need to get the Fortuna's Hope in here. That looks good. Only get the whetstone on the hero sword for the round. That's fine. We're looking good in terms of getting these upgrades in. And so the thing that always interests me as we start these games off with these clover bows in the early game is it opens up making carrots very good, right? Typically carrots are kind of shitty. Just having it out there as an item that removes the debuffs from your opponent isn't really enough to be good. But if it's going to start generating it empowered, then it becomes extremely strong. And so it's nice that the Clover Bow does add that here in the early game. It does have some pivot potential over into the Thornbloom scaling builds, but that's not something I'm super interested in at the moment. And all right, I guess this is perfect here for the the finale of the Ranger. I do prefer to have the whetstone item turn up here at the subclass round, but Markswoman with the Ranger just seems like the perfect addition for the final battle. And so happy enough to add that in. Now, how else do we want to approach this? I'm not really interested in bow and arrows. I don't like the big bows. I only really want the little bows to generate the clovers. What we're going to be looking to do is have a hero longsword, right? And then we want to put like 3 or 4 little clover bows on it, and then we want to get up to 15 clovers as fast as we can to activate the mega clover. And so that's going to be the kind of main and core idea of the build. I'd also like to have the 2 stones attached to this and have a glove of thorns attached to it as well, but the big bow doesn't really tie into that very well. It kind of ties in better with Falcon Blades, and I don't really like Falcon Blade builds in this patch. And so with that in mind, I am a little interested in this Dragon Egg. It's on sale. It's a nice ranged weapon. It's still quite good, even if we don't turn up with all the items that we want. If we find ourselves pivoting over to pets instead of going for mega clovers, it works out nicely there as well. And so all around pretty good stuff. So to get that going, kind of sucks picking up bags here. I worry a little bit that, you know, as we do come out and pick up this Dragon Egg, that it takes a bit of time to get up and running. And so we're going to need to get good fast, right? Since it's a very big investment for 2 rounds of doing nothing. And so I was hoping to get something active this round that wasn't just a bag, but kind of is what it is. We get that 4 heat off of it. That's all we really need, though, right? Interesting stuff from the opponent. He went whetstone on the subclass with none of the whetstone items. Looks like we're still going to struggle to get a takedown on this this heal that he has, but I think we're still upgrading nicely. We would have been able to take that down with a carrot, is kind of the big thing there. All right, though. On sale whetstone, all about it. I'd like to find another weapon here if we can, and then we need to find another bag. And so the weapon has turned itself, or the bag has turned itself up. We could add in a wooden sword. It's not spectacular here by any means, but it does give us a way to come out and spend this stamina for a few rounds. And so if we just keep it out here for 1 round or 2 rounds and then sell it and recoup 2 of the 3 gold, I think that's a fairly decent deal. All right, let's hit it. It's like I would rather be out of stamina than capped on stamina at this point. Holy shit, look at this guy. He is just fucking stacked. He's got all the upgrades out here. Looks like we're going to get blasted here, but we at least get to hopefully turn things around next round when our dragon turns up. Jesus, just literal everything out here from that guy. Okay, so what can we do here? We're definitely stronger on the attack now, right? Now that we've got our dragon friend up and running. I wouldn't be opposed to just, say, picking up some healing herbs and trying to get a little bit more defensive, as I think we should be okay in these sustain spaces with all of our weapons. And so let's see what turns up. Here's the bag of stones. That's perfect. Let's see if we can't get this bag looking a little bit better. It might be about time for the... It might be about time for the, whatchamacallit, short sword to go. So I was wanting to do something like this. So we get the dragon in the crit bag and in the speed bag and on the hero sword. And then the same thing over here with the Fortuna's Hope. It's in the speed bag on top, the crit bag below, and then hitting the hero sword. So it's kind of maximizing on all of the good features that we can get. And then if we look and come over here, we can get this the single stone we have up and running. Have a little bit of space for that wooden sword left over. And then we gotta figure out what to do with this this marksman. It's not that great. We need it somewhere down here at the bottom. So it can hit all of our items, but we don't have the bag space for that at the moment. Almost forgot that extra healing herbs we bought. Looks good. We're starting to get strong. And so I don't want to delve too much into the world of defensives, since we're looking to just build up to a big OTK build, but good start. Just blasted through that guy, right? He's doing something with all these mega pigs out here, but definitely feeling much stronger with that dragon on board. And perfect. The last big key element of this Mega Clover style build is going to be these flutes. We're going to look at the end of the day to have a gen lamp on board. And the way that we'll get this activated is right out the get-go. We should have the 15 clovers to get all of the clovers, thorns, and mana that we need to activate this. But the armor is the tough one. And the flute lets us generate that armor. It generates stamina for our attacks, generates clovers to get us up to 15 clovers, all around just doing everything that we want. So glad to add that in. Pick up this clover as well. I'm kind of tempted to pick up a walrus tusk. I would like to do the gloves of thorns, if we can, to have another way to generate empowereds. So we could add that in as well for the moment. All right, what else we got? Nothing too strong in here, but we do need bags if we want to get our flute online. I'm not opposed to just selling banana at this point. We should be able to get our stamina out of the flute. Hopefully, if RNGesus brings us the blessings, then the flutes will only hit the things that we need right on time. Alright, got that quick battle rage out here. Gonna be close. Got that big dragon coming in at the end of the day. Good deal. And so yeah, this seems perfect for me to be going for the Mega Clover. There is a real thought that we should just take this hero sword and turn it into a Goobert, the hero Goobert. And then with that, we would want to go Beastmaster, so we'd have the hero Goobert and the Whelp at this point. But I think we're strong enough now, even if we don't upgrade the hero sword to the big hero sword. And so let's just go with the Grove Keeper, see what we can do. Have to pick up the whetstone. That's pretty easy. There is a carrot up here, but I think I'm ready to just go into Mega Clover mode, and we do need to find another bag to get it on board. And so I'm not going to take it right now. Kind of a crappy bag, but whatever. Take one more roll. And then we got the gloves coming in. And so we can upgrade the gloves into the gloves of attack. I think, like, we could just sell off the wooden sword. Maybe, if not this round, we'll definitely sell it next round. But we need to make sure we have enough space for this Mega Clover, right? That's the important thing to get in right now. Like, do we have a way to do it? We can most certainly get up to 4 hexes this round, or to get our shield back in, but like they're not going to be aligned that perfectly. Not eyeballing any ways to get this last hex over here. That's fine. We'll just put this other stuff back in. Upgrade the dragon, get a clover in there. Sure. Alright, battle time. So yeah, these rounds, it'll be very important to come in and just try and hit that 15 clovers as fast as we can. Kind of brutal here, as the stamina burn was much more real than I thought it was going to be, and so let's definitely get rid of this other sword. It won't burn through nearly as fast now. All right, fanny pack it is. Too early for this gen lamp. We're going to pass on that. Another fanny pack turns up. Sure. Looking for short bows, fanny packs, and flutes at this point. Doesn't quite turn up. I'm not opposed to an on-sale fanfare. It's not particularly spectacular in this build, but it does give us empowered, or potentially give us a bit of mana to work with that gen lamp a little bit later on. So I think that'll be fine. We can get the healing herbs down here in a little bit of a better spot. Got some clovers, that's fine. Alright, let's hit it. Oh shit, our bow thing is messed up. There we go. Alright, let's see if this goes a little bit better this round, now that our stamina's in a little bit better place with that short sword out of here. Getting those empowereds quick. The clovers are starting to scale. Looks much better now. Need to, maybe we shouldn't have sold that banana, but we definitely needed it at that earlier point. Now with this, I don't expect any of these rounds to go to fatigue. Shielded don't want, Power of the Moon don't want. Acorn Ace it is. We will need to find a Acorn Ring to get some usage out of that, but we'll wait till the time comes for it. Now here, I mean, we could pick up the bow and arrow. I feel like we're gonna have to just give up on the bag of stones at this point. We only have one. We're not gonna get the big sword. Like, it's not really popping off in any way. And it's gonna free up the bag space to fit something like bow and arrow in. Just another higher quality weapon. The downsides, we're at 1.2 stamina. It's gonna kick us up to 1.6. It's starting to get a little high if we're not actually getting usage out of our Acorn Ace. But we need these games to be just blasting out faster, and so I think I'm okay with it. So we're going to sell off the bag, pick up the bow and arrow, get this bag situated just a little bit better. It's still hanging out in the crit zone there. Do we not have a way to get this upgrading? We need to bring this guy over. Just move the potion belt over. All right, Mark's woman's still doing her thing. We'd prefer it to be, down here at the bottom somewhere, but still a little bit short on the bag space to pull that off. It's okay, we'll get that situated. I think I'd rather have the healing herbs than the lucky clover in, but we are at least getting a bit closer to that point to where we just automatically hit 15 clovers at the beginning, and so we're a little bit lacking in terms of the clover scaling at this point. But if the battle drags on, we might be able to hit it. Didn't happen here. Oof, down to that last heart. Let's see what we can do. things are getting dicey here. So nothing in that shop. On sale healing herbs is fine. Fanny pack is fine. Do need a little bit more bag space in here to try and get all of these clovers up and running. We got to try and hit that 15 really fast, and so we're gonna be much closer this round at least. All right, fanny pack and banana. Not a super round of upgrades here, but definitely not nothing. So let's do this. Let's move the whetstone down to where it's activating on 2 things. Get this banana in the speed bag as well. It is kind of a bummer holding onto this Acorn Ace without any way to use it. All right, though. Let's see if we can't hang on a little bit longer in the last battle out here. Yeesh, this is always a tough one. These mega axes are always a real pain. They tend to take us down before we can scale up the clovers. Boom, got us. And that's tough. And so, I mean, it was a pretty reasonable build. It was pretty close to having all of the stuff that we wanted. We are just like 1 or 2 rounds short, right? As you see us at this spot to where we're hitting 12 luck. If we'd been in the spot to where we could have hit 15 just a second or two faster, then I think we would have been in pretty good shape. But just a little bit short, just lost a couple of rounds before we actually got there. We could have, perhaps taken these healing herbs out and just put clovers in. That's something that we tend to do a little bit later in the game. But I don't think it was like, I think you could say that here, but we would have died much faster if we weren't getting that 3 health per second heal off of these 3 healing herbs. And so I think it was okay to go this way. But nonetheless, it's still the way that I like to go after this battle. The thing I'll try and touch on in the next video is the way I think that this really goes with these are my kind of thought and feel going for this style of build is in these games to when you hit, like when you go for the hero longsword build early and the things come together. So if we had, say, like the hero longsword here, then you just get like plus 15, plus 16 LP. And then when you have games like this to where it doesn't necessarily come together, you've run into a ranged opponent and lose, you run into a mega axe opponent and lose, you run into a close battle and lose, you run into a mirror and lose, then you're really just grinding it out with that 1 health and you don't dig in too far. You still find yourself with this. Shit, I didn't see where we're at. I think we lost 3 LP here at the end of the day. And so what I try to find ourselves out here doing with these are, you'll have a couple of grinder games to where you lose like 3 or 4. You have a couple of games to where you just plus 5 and quit, and then you make up for all of the bad games with like one big one with that hero longsword when it comes together, and that's what really helps you, kind of shoot up within the ranks. And so we'll talk about that a little bit more in the next video. Hopefully that helps you in your climb up to the top. After that, we'll have the review video, and then we'll be off to the Bazaar. We'll be trading in our backpack for the coin, right? Backpack for the shop, backpack for the whatever you do out there in the lands of shopping. I'm sure that's what we'll be doing. But nonetheless, good stuff. I had fun with that. Hope you did too, because that is going to do it for us today. So if everyone enjoyed the video, hope you have learned a thing or two along the way. You had a good time watching. This is Bustin' Me. Thank you for being here.